Sky's clear. We're also getting a clearer picture of just how treacherous ice conditions are, particularly on Lake Winnebago, where the sturgeon spearing season is set to begin a week from Saturday. Take a look at the satellite imagery as the clouds move off just before noon today. We have this on a repeat, but as they move off, you can see those spots, these dark spots here. There is a lot of open water in those dark spots. And here's a clearer picture from NOAA's Eyes in Space. Look at the open water there. You see it on Lake Winnebago. There's open water in those dark spots. Large cracks also appearing on Lake Poygan and Butamore. And just to the southwest, Green Lake, nearly all open water. But let's go back to Lake Winnebago, taking a closer look from our eyes in the sky. These images captured by photojournalist Bill Kumbalik and our First Alert drone early this afternoon. And you can see the open water out there, but also the varying ice conditions along the shore. You'll also notice those ice fishermen out on the lake. But also pay attention to the fact there is the absence of vehicles. And with warmer weather predicted leading up to that sturgeon spearing opener, hard to imagine we'll see any vehicles and shanties out on this ice. But let's find out where things stand with that right now and bring in our Jason Zimmerman, who is reporting on this today. He joins us live from the shores of Lake Winnebago in Menasha. So Jason, let's get right to it. Where do things stand? What have you heard from the DNR as far as the season starting as it's supposed to?
Well, Chris, I can tell you if you're looking forward to spearing, the season will take place regardless of the weather. The DNR confirming late this afternoon after some discussion that they do not have the authority to cancel the sturgeon spearing season. And this is all according to state statutes, that they're coming to that conclusion after an extensive discussion and review. So they're going to focus instead on safety, telling people to be extra careful if you do venture out, because there are some really dangerous ice conditions this year compared to some of the years past that a lot of people who are going out might not be used to or accustomed to. So that's what we're expecting right now. It'll be basically up to every person on their own to make a decision whether they want to ice spear or not.
Jason, what does the DNR say if in fact there is open water and people want to spear by going on the open water in maybe boats or floats or whatever?
Yeah, they're warning people about that too today. When I spoke to them, they said there's been a lot of talk about people, whether they're being realistic, sarcastic, or whatever, talking about bringing a boat. And we're going to see a lot more open water in the next week and a half approaching sturgeon spearing season. So people have been talking about bringing boats, pontoons, etc. out onto the water. The DNR is saying absolutely, that's a terrible idea. If you do spear, state law requires it to be on the ice, and there's so if you're not on the ice actually spearing, you can't participate. And there's been a lot of talk too that in a week and a half from now we might not have a whole lot of ice, even in some of the inland bays and some of the areas where ice fishermen are planting themselves right now. That ice might not stick around with these mild temperatures. So that's one way of just having the sturgeon spearing season come to a close on its own. But obviously there's going to be some diehards that are going to probably do whatever it takes to be out on the ice, and those are the ones that people who have to respond, first responders and the DNR, are concerned about right now.
All right, Jason, while you were talking, we saw some video, folks, out on the ice. I know you talked to some of them today. How are they going to approach this going forward?
Yeah, I talked to one person who has been sturgeon spearing every year since 1976. He says this will be the first year that he will not be going out on the ice. I also spoke to a local fishing guide, Chad Burns, Burnsy's Guide Service, who tells me that he has now canceled all of his appointments for the remainder of the winter season because he does not see the ice getting any better. Many of his clients coming from across the country, you know, plane tickets, hotel reservations, etc. So he wanted to give them notice because it does take days of freezing cold temperatures to build the ice back up to where it needs to be to safely to venture out.
All right, Jason, thanks so much. Again, this is going to cost a lot of people a lot of money.